I, 48 male, have a son who graduated high school this year. We, my wife and I, started his college fund the minute we found out she was pregnant. Since we made good money in the mid six figures, his college fund currently has almost $400K. We've never told our son what to do with his life. We may have guided his decisions as any good parent should, but since he was still young, we let him make his own decisions. We never expected academic excellence or forced him into sports or artistic activities. After graduating high school, he said he didn't want to go to college. We said he could do whatever he wanted as long as he was sure. He refused trade schools too. He also didn't want to work with us in our business. He said that he planned to use his college fund to start a business of his own. I said that I would allow it only if he took some business management, accounting, and law classes in the nearby community college. I said that I would pay for them out of pocket and not from the fund, and then I would expect a well-made business plan before giving him the money. My wife agrees 100%. But he called us idiots for holding his college fund hostage to make him do what we wanted. We think we're just doing our best to ensure that his business succeeds. So, am I the idiot for refusing to release my son's college fund to him unless he takes some college classes? You are the idiot. The money was saved for him. If he has a solid business plan, the money is an investment just as it would have been for his education. In addition, he also needs to work in the field of the business he's interested in. Taking a few classes is still setting him up for failure. You are the idiot. You're attempting to over-control your child, and that's not your role. You saved for him. Accept that he isn't going to college. Give him his gift with no strings attached, and learn how to deal with this in a way that isn't manipulating your children. I'm not surprised if he goes no contact with you over this. I'll probably get downvoted, but not the idiot. You're not holding it hostage for any selfish reason. You're trying to help him get and stay on a good track in life. You even offered to pay for the classes out of pocket and not from the college fund. You're trying to support him, but you're also trying to stay realistic and make sure that he knows what he's doing so he doesn't make a $400K mistake. He's probably got this cool business idea of opening a shop for insert hobby that'll be used primarily to give him free access to hobby goods. How many teens want to open a skateboard shop for nothing other than the ability to play with every board in the shop? Ignoring it'd be difficult, if not impossible, to sell such a used board, even if they were able to attract customers in the first place. Personally, I'd hold the money back and allow it to be used for things like a wedding, a house deposit once married, education or trade school, etc. A business venture would be a push, and I'd treat it more like a loan, in that if he can't get approved for a loan from a bank with his plan, he can't get the college fund. I think your son is acting incredibly entitled and doesn't realize how lucky he is to even have a college fund set aside for him. So many adults are drowning in student debt. He needs some big picture perspective. It sounds like you're doing everything right in this scenario, and how awesome that you and your wife had the foresight and the means to contribute to a college fund for your son. Way to go, Dad. My tween daughter wanted bangs for a long time because a friend of hers recently had her hair cut and had bangs cut, and it ended up being very cute. My daughter has beautiful hair. It's very long, but it's thin. So I had my cousin, a hairdresser with an area of focus on kids' haircuts, consult. And she said that if we cut bangs into my daughter's hair, it wouldn't look right due to how thin her hair is. I normally let my daughter have a say in her choices regarding clothes and hair, but on this one, I put my foot down because I know it won't look good and she'll wind up unhappy. My cousin also uploaded a photo of my daughter to FaceApp and showed me what she would look like with bangs, and it just wasn't a good look. I know FaceApp isn't 100% accurate, but it was close enough in this regard. My daughter told me she would take some time alone in our bathroom the day before yesterday. It was only after she'd been in the bathroom a while that I noticed the scissors I keep in the kitchen were missing. These are giant meat scissors, and then I heard her in the bathroom crying, so I made her open the door, and she was hunkered with her back to me, sobbing, and I saw a hunk of hair in the sink. She had watched the TikTok compilation of people cutting their hair and tried to do her bangs. Unfortunately, the result was not good. The hair doesn't lay flat. She cut very unevenly, And she cut too short. Using your index finger, place the tip in the center part and go down to the first bend, and that's how short she cut. I really didn't know what to say, so I made sure she hadn't hurt herself with the scissors, which she didn't. I looked at her hair and realized I wasn't going to be able to even it up myself, so I called my cousin, who came over and made the cut even, but it required cutting shorter, and now her hair is messed up. My daughter's mortified and doesn't want to go into public now. She keeps begging me to fix it, even though I've explained to her, and my cousin explained it couldn't be fixed. So I told her, this happens when you don't listen. You made a mistake yourself. You hid in the bathroom because you knew it was wrong. So you have to live with the consequences and wait for it to grow. My husband says I'm being very cold and unsympathetic, and our daughter's a tween. She didn't know any better. She's just learning and doing what kids do. I feel that she knew exactly what she was doing and knew that it was wrong, hence her hiding from me. My husband said that she wouldn't have done it herself if I had just taken her to the salon and had her hair cut. My daughter hates the bangs and says my cousin was right, that it wouldn't look good. So if I had taken her to get it done, then she'd be blaming me. So we're at a stalemate. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Geez, she's a tween, not 20. I'm with your husband on this. She did it. You needn't tell her you're right, and she should have listened to you. Way to give a girl mommy issues. You are the idiot. Yeah, this is all your fault. Your kid should be allowed to make simple decisions for herself at this age, and bangs are an incredibly minor, simple decision. Hair grows back. You should apologize to her for being overly controlling and tell her that the next time she wants to do something new with her hair, you won't stand in the way. If you'd let her get the bangs and she didn't like them, you could console her and help her be patient while they grow back. Instead, you have this ridiculous mess. I can guarantee that most of the OPs the idiot here are not parents or have really young children. A tween is old enough to face the consequences of your actions. She snuck into the bathroom. She knew she shouldn't be doing what she did. Not the idiot. Hair will grow back. There are lots of stupid things kids do that cannot be fixed. Nope. OP is an idiot for putting her foot down about bangs in the first place. Kids should have agency in their appearance as much as possible. OP should have okayed the bangs from the get-go and given her kid the chance to do them properly, or to speak with a professional and make her own decisions about her hairstyle. Disagree. OP's not the idiot. If everyone, including a professional, is telling her that bangs won't work for her, she should not at that age be deciding she knows better. If she does and does it herself, the natural consequences are something she can live with and maybe listen to people who know what they're talking about next time. My 27 male, wife 24, and I live in a small town, and recently my close friend from childhood, 27 female, moved here as well. A few days ago, my friend messaged me at 8 p.m. asking if any stores were open. She was looking for a drugstore specifically, but as I said, it's a small town and everything closes at 6, and the city is an hour away, and everything would also probably be closed by the time she drove there. After some more prodding, she tells me that she's out of period products. So I looked under the sink and saw an unopened box of pads, and I told my friend that she could have it. So I gave her the box of pads and then texted my wife, who's staying with her parents for the week, what happened, and told her that I'll replace it the next day. The next thing I know, I got a bunch of texts from my wife calling me an idiot, saying that I should have asked her first, and she would have told me no. I also got texts from her sister telling me how weird this situation was. But I grew up in a household where my mom kept the downstairs bathroom stocked with pads for guests to use. So to me, they feel more like household items. I'd be fine if she gave away my shampoo, for instance, since we use different shampoo. Also, I didn't text my wife immediately because it takes hours to respond and usually longer when she's at her parents'. Also, I'm the one who makes sure that our toiletries, including her pads, are stocked. I guess she had a more conservative upbringing, whereas I feel this isn't any different than my friends running out of toilet paper or toothpaste and didn't see the need to run it by my wife first. But I'm feeling like an idiot here for not considering that. I guess I wasn't thinking about how my wife would have felt. I just thought, well, my friend needs pads, and I have a box. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Everyone who says that this is weird, she felt comfortable enough to ask for period products. Why? Periods aren't something to feel ashamed of. If this were me, I'd be glad my husband doesn't have some weird hang-up on periods. Why is no one asking that her sister texted him? Isn't that weird? Okay, maybe her sister was there and she was upset, so she told him. That makes sense. But for her sister to text him and tell him what he did was wrong, that's absolutely stupid, and she has no business telling him that. My sisters often rant about their SO when they're upset, and I'm around, but then they figure it out and work on it together. I don't go and text their husbands about every little thing. She doesn't get to talk about boundaries if she acts like this. Everyone's the idiot here. Maybe your wife feels weird about a woman feeling so close to her husband that she can ask for help with period products. This 27-year-old woman knows no other woman in town and has planned so poorly to call a married friend to ask for help. Your wife blew it out of proportion, though, and that's the only reason I can think of why. Yeah, I'm guessing this is more the wife is weirded out that his close female friend asked her husband for pads, and her husband delivered them to said friend at night while she was gone. Don't know if there's anything in the relationship to warrant this kind of reaction, though. I agree. I don't think it's about the pads. His wife is out of town. His female friend recently moved back. I'm guessing that the wife is not used to this dynamic, especially from a conservative family. It probably has more to do with them being together while she's out of town. The pads are probably more about the comfortability in her private space. This isn't her sister or her friend. It's his childhood friend that recently returned. There may be something else going on here. My son is 19. A few weeks ago, he had some of his friends over, which is fine. I went to bed early, and my son and his friends were in the basement when I went to bed. I came down the next morning and went to check my emails. My laptop was in the same place I left it last night, but the screen was cracked, and it looked like a drink was spilled on it. When my son got up, I asked him if he knew who damaged my laptop. He said he didn't know, and they had been in the basement while I had my laptop in the dining room. I told him there was no way the laptop broke its own screen and spilled a drink on itself, so if it wasn't him, then it was one of his friends. He swore up and down that no one had touched my laptop. I was like, okay, then no friends over until someone fesses up. I don't think he took me seriously because I came home from work a few days later and he had some of his friends over. I apologized to them, but informed them that no one had owned up to breaking my laptop, so I wasn't allowing company over in the meantime. My son is very upset and says I'm embarrassing him. I'm of the mind that I don't want people in my house who feel it's okay to break my things and then hide them. I've made it clear I don't expect them to replace it. I just want someone to own up to it and apologize. My sister has told me the punishment is harsh, and she agrees I'm embarrassing my son. Am I the idiot? How is that punishment overly harsh? It seems like the natural progression. If a group of people break something at your home, of course you wouldn't want to let them back in. Not the idiot. And what is your sister on? LMAO. He's also 19, not a child anymore. Old enough to take responsibility. Make him pay to replace it, and maybe he'll pressure the guilty person to reimburse him. Or you can use his B-Day or Christmas money to fix the damage. In the meantime, your house, your rules. He can move in with his friends if he doesn't like that. Yeah, not sure I agree with making your kid pay for someone else's damage. It also isn't their responsibility to police their friends. Seems like that'll just teach them that other people's actions are their responsibility. They aren't. And taking their birthday money for someone else's actions, that's just pure cruelty. If you invited them to your house, it's your responsibility to police them. When my friends came over, I had to tell them if they were breaking any of our house rules. I don't see how that's unfair. The kid here is an adult. It's his job to care for other people's possessions if he's using them. In this case, a house and everything in it. Stand your ground, OP. My fiancé, 26, and I, 21, have been dating for 2 years. He has honestly been the best boyfriend and support person in my life. In the past, I honestly lost all my faith in men due to my many bad experiences, and he was the one to restore it. My fiancé had been married before, but his wife unfortunately passed away due to someone driving under the influence. My fiancé and my fiancé's family described her as a fantastic woman who was a saint. Sometimes I feel like I'm compared to her, and even get comments from my fiancé's family members that I look and sound like her. It sometimes makes me a little uncomfortable because I'm not her replacement. I always knew that my fiancé kept some of her belongings, including her engagement and wedding ring. I'd always been okay with it, but I never expected him to propose to me with her ring. When he proposed, he organized a family picnic to announce my pregnancy. Honestly, I've never seen a picnic so fancy before. Everything was perfect. His family and mine were both there, but when he proposed, I saw that the ring he chose was his deceased wife's ring, and I was a little taken aback. I hesitated before I said yes, and his sisters and mom noticed. Later on, his sisters and mom questioned me about it, as if they were some kind of interrogation squad, and I was honest. I told them I felt uncomfortable being proposed to with his deceased wife's ring and that it belonged to her and not me. They told me that my fiancé wanted to pick a meaningful ring, and nothing spoke to him but his deceased wife's ring. I answered back saying that I would have been happy with any ring, even if it was a freaking ring pop candy, but something doesn't sit right with me being proposed to with his dead wife's ring. They told my fiancé, who's been a little distant ever since. I love him and I don't want this to ruin our relationship. I understand he's still hurt about his wife dying, but sometimes I feel like he's trying to replace her with me, and I can't be her because I'm me. Am I the idiot for being upset? Not the idiot. By proposing with his dead wife's ring, it seems like he's trying to replace her with you. That ring should be a memory of his late wife, not something he should want to see on anyone else's hand. You're not a waking memorial. If you weren't pregnant, I would say rethink this entire relationship. It sounds like she should rethink the relationship regardless. The creep factor is off the scale with this one, and under no circumstances should a child be in the middle of this insanity. The ring is meant to represent your relationship and your commitment. In your shoes, I would have said no and likely lost it. How thoughtless. Has it occurred to you that losing your faith in men at 19 years old is exactly the scenario that would lead you to pick a horrible partner? Either you've been through extreme trauma as a teenager, or you're still very immature and emotionally stunted. Are you sure you're ready for marriage and kids at 21? Are you sure this guy's the best you can do? Don't you want to be your partner's equal? OP, you deserve more than doesn't beat me or has a job or hasn't cheated. You deserve to discover who you are as an independent adult. Find your footing in the world, mature into a great partner, get therapy, and then meet someone amazing who feels like you're equal. Someone with whom you can communicate openly and build a life that is your own with a partner who knows you. It doesn't sound like this guy or his family is it. It's not about the ring per se. It's the whole situation. 1,000 times this. Y'all are way too young. He's widowed at 24? How long ago? You need to wait and wait. He's trying to replace her with you. Go to counseling and get your own ring.